At 10:16 at night, the plate lands harder than anyone meant it to. The kitchen is warm, but the food is already cooling. Someone stands near the bedroom door for a few extra seconds before coming back in. The forks and glasses sound louder than usual, and the yellow light makes the silence feel almost visible. Why do the sharpest words often come out around the people we love most? This is the quiet pattern of using sharp words with safe people, and in this video, I'll slow down what it is, why it happens, and how one small moment can carry more meaning than the moment itself. Using the sharpest words with someone close is often what happens when hurt, fear, tiredness, or old disappointment moves faster than the softer truth underneath it. It may not start as cruelty. A lot of the time, it starts as a small injury that arrives too fast to explain. Someone looks away while you are talking. Someone answers with less warmth than usual. Someone sets a plate down too hard, and suddenly the action feels like a whole sentence. Not the sentence they said. The one you heard inside it. Maybe it sounds like, "I'm tired of you." Maybe it sounds like, "You don't matter right now." Maybe it sounds like, "Here we go again." And before there is room to ask what actually happened, a sharper sentence comes out. Not because it is the truest one. Because it is the fastest one. One common reason is that closeness gives small moments a heavier meaning. With someone you barely know, a cold tone may stay small, because there is not much history attached to it. With someone you love, the same cold tone can touch a whole shelf of memories, promises, arguments, and hopes. So when your partner sighs while clearing the table, you may not hear a sigh, you may hear distance, rejection, or the beginning of being left alone in the room emotionally. Sometimes, it comes from being worn down before the conversation even begins. By the time the kitchen gets quiet, the day may already be full of unfinished tasks, held in feelings, work pressure, traffic, bills, family messages, and all the small moments where someone swallowed what they felt so they could keep going. When a person is that full, gentleness can feel far away, even toward the one person they care about most. So a simple line like "Can you not do that?" comes out as "You always do this," and the room changes shape. In other cases, it grows out of not feeling heard the softer way. If calm words were brushed aside in the past, sharp words can start to feel like the only ones that land. The person may not even be trying to hurt the other one, they may be trying to make the feeling impossible to miss. So instead of saying, "I felt alone when you walked away," they say, "You never care," because a sentence that big feels harder to ignore. This is why the sharpest words often come with a strange contradiction. The person speaking may want closeness, but the words create distance. They may want comfort, but the tone makes comfort harder to offer. They may want to be understood, but the sentence arrives dressed like an attack. That contradiction can feel confusing afterward. You might sit there with the same person you love, both of you pretending to focus on the food, while the real conversation sits between the cups and the half-folded napkin. Nobody yells. Nobody leaves. But something small has shifted. The sharp words stay in the room after the voice has gone quiet. It is late at night, maybe 10:16, and the kitchen table has become the place where the whole day finally shows itself. One person puts the plate down too hard, not to start a fight, just because the body is tired and the hands move before the mind catches up. The other person hears that sound and feels a sting, almost like the plate said something. They stand near the bedroom door for a few seconds longer than usual, unsure whether to come back in or protect themselves by staying away. The food smells cooler now, the chair leg scrapes the floor, and one sentence comes out sharper than the pain behind it. "Fine, be mad then." Or, "You always make it like this." If you've been there, you're not strange. You might know someone who lives like this. This is how hurt can hide inside a word that sounds harsher than the heart that said it. What makes these moments so hard is that the event itself can look small from the outside. A plate. A sigh. A pause at a doorway. A tone that lands wrong. But inside the relationship, small things are rarely just small. They carry context. They carry history. They carry the last time someone felt dismissed. They carry the last apology that came too late. They carry every moment when someone wanted to say, "Please see me," but instead kept clearing the table. So the sharp word is not only about that one plate. It is about the meaning attached to the plate. And meaning is where many loving people get lost. One person means, "I'm exhausted." The other hears, I'm done with you. One person means, I don't know how to talk right now. The other hears, you are not safe with me. One person means, I'm overwhelmed. The other hears, this relationship is too much. And once each person starts responding to the meaning they heard, not the meaning that was meant, the conversation can become two people defending themselves from different stories. That is where the sharpest words grow. Not always from hatred. Often from misread pain. A softer moment may begin when the meaning is named before the accusation takes over. Not in a perfect way. Not with a polished sentence. Just enough honesty to separate the sound from the story around it. Instead of you're mad at me again, there may be room for, when the plate hit the table like that, I read it as anger toward me. That kind of sentence does not erase the sting, but it gives the other person a chance to answer the real fear, not only defend against the sharpness. It can also help when the body gets a few seconds before the mouth speaks. A hand on the back of a chair. A sip of water. Eyes resting on the counter instead of the other person's face for one breath. Those seconds are not about winning control. They simply create a little space between the hurt and the sentence, so the first word is not always the hardest one available. And there is something else here that often gets missed. The people we love most can become the place where we stop performing. Around strangers, co-workers, neighbors, and acquaintances, many people edit themselves. They stay polite. They soften the tone. They wait until they are alone to fall apart. Then they come home, where love feels more secure, and the guarded version finally drops. That can be both tender and unfair. Tender, because it means the person feels safe enough to be real. Unfair, because safe people can still be hurt by the unfiltered version. So the question is not, why am I like this? The kinder question is, what feeling came out sideways? Was it fear? Embarrassment? Feeling unseen? Feeling unchosen? Feeling tired of asking for the same tenderness in different words? Sometimes the answer is not noble. Sometimes it is just fatigue. Sometimes it is pride. Sometimes it is the small shame of wanting care and not knowing how to ask for it without sounding exposed. That is one reason sharp words can feel easier than honest ones. Sharp words keep the other person at a distance. Honest words often bring them closer. And closeness can feel risky when the feeling underneath is, I care so much that this small thing hurt me. So the sharp sentence comes out wearing armor. I don't care. Whatever. Forget it. You always do this. But underneath, there may be a quieter sentence that never made it into the room. I felt alone just now. I thought you were pulling away. I wanted you to notice. I'm scared this means more than it means. When that softer sentence stays hidden, both people may end up arguing with the armor, not the person inside it. This is why the repair after sharp words matters, even when the moment seems small. Repair does not always mean a long conversation at midnight. Sometimes it is one plain line later, while the kitchen is quiet and the sink is running, that came out sharper than what I meant. Or, I was hurt, and I turned it into a harsher sentence. A line like that may not make everything instantly warm again, but it can return truth to the room. And truth often feels different from victory. Victory says, I was right. Truth says, there was more happening in me than I knew how to say. When two people care about each other, the goal is not to become perfectly calm all the time. That is not real life. People get tired. Plates land too hard. Doors stay closed a little too long. Voices lose softness. What matters is whether the sharp word becomes the whole story, or whether someone later finds the quieter meaning underneath it. This is for people who sound sharp when what they really wanted was to feel close. If the heaviest part of a moment was not the event, but the meaning you gave it, that does not make the feeling fake. It means the feeling was carrying something older, fuller, and harder to say. The sharpest words often appear where love has the most to lose. And sometimes, underneath the sentence that hurt, there is a much smaller one still waiting to be heard.